Howdy folks, welcome to prototype number 3 of the Shank holder. That's going to be this guy here. Now, prototype number 3, these are the parts as they've come out of the box. I haven't done any modifications. What I have went in and measured everything. For this one, the Shank is fairly tight. Can't quite get some of the bits fit in, like this one does not. Went in and double checked all the measurements, and I'm not sure if it's because the orientation got changed on the part. If you can see the lines on this one, they go horizontal, and then on this one they're kind of going perpendicular. So I'm going to try on the next run to change the orientation. However, because this is a center product, it has shrinkage. The holes actually shrink quite a bit more, almost 15%, while most of the dimensions change about 5%, it seems, according to the measurements versus the design. Because this is a DIY modification, it's not nearly as straightforward and simple as my flat blade holder. The flat blade holder you can basically just install without hardly any modifications, maybe drill a hole. This one though, you will need a couple of things, even once I tweak the dimensions to make sure that it's going to work 100% for you. So this isn't going to be a sales video, this is going to be more a what I'm doing for this. I'll probably load another video after doing a 4th prototype to validate. I don't like to sell anything to people that they can't use, and I don't like to overpromise. So we'll get started on trying to get this working. So first thing I'm going to do is drill out the hole here with a 1/8 inch drill bit. And in this case, bear with me for a second while I go do that. So, got them clamped together. I actually got quite hot during the drilling. This is still basically drilling through stainless steel and bronze together, so it's a little tougher than your average mild steel. Next, I'm going to drill out the holes that will eventually get tapped with M3. Needs to be 2.65 millimeters. However, I don't actually have that, but the closest thing I have is 2.68 millimeters. Alright, so next up I'm going to tap these 2 holes with the M3 tap. Well, shoot. The only tap handle I have is too big. So here's going to be some free advertising for another YouTube channel. Hand tool rescue to the rescue. There we go. And a little bit of cutting fluid. Alright, there we go. Set screws are in. So we might need to do a little bit of grinding in order to get these guys to fit in here. So again, because I want to kind of show the process, I'll skip through a little bit of this. every time I'm having to do these tweaks, what I have to do is mentally in my head kind of keep track, along with the video, of how much I feel like I've removed as far as like 0.2 millimeters, 0.3 millimeters. The tolerances are extremely small in order to get this to fit just right. Still feels like... So this fits extremely well. This is fitting well. It's this little back edge that's not quite fitting well. That might just be it. Let's try a few other blades. So you can see where we need the thickness. If you try to put a T-shank into a Leatherman Surge, you'll find out pretty quick that tolerances make a difference as far as you want this to be rock solid. You're putting a lot of force in different directions when you do the cutting. I think these are all good. And then this is a diamond file. This is actually what I want to put back into my tool. This is the Leatherman Surge diamond file and crosscut file, and I'm going to use that to replace the saw that's in the free P4. So, like I said, they did not make their T-shank the same as Bosch. I'll try to make the bottom edge even to show it's a little thicker. So it takes some grinding, nothing you can't do without just some basic files to make these fit. Let's see if this guy fits now. He fit the Rev 2 prototype. It looks like it's going to need a little bit more grinding to fit the Rev 3 prototype, which is fine. I can do that. Alright, but how about enough of having this outside? Let's go ahead and try putting this into the free P4. I was going to kind of make this a video on how to install it and like my normal videos, but I've already shown that on a few of the others, and this is more of a development diary video, I guess. So what I've done is I'm taking out the 3 thin washers and the 1 thick washer. The 3 thin washers are between the small implements, and the thick washer is basically a little spacer because of the shape of the scales. I'm taking out the saw and taking out the can opener. I probably would use the saw quite often, but now I can actually have a metal saw, wood saw, whatever I want. And I definitely do not use the can opener at all. Then what we're doing is pushing these rest of these down, installing our new T-shank holder, reinstalling the pivot. Takes a little bit of finesse to get it through, especially because of these springs. Alright, let's make sure this is locked in place. There we go. Holding the other side with my thumb, tightening this side. Once I got both of those close enough, I want to have this tested in the way that it's going to actually be installed, so I want to get this torqued properly. Okay. So one thing is that, of course, your T-shank blades are going to be a little too long. So what you need to do is use something like a cutoff wheel. So take our T-shank blade, put it in, close it, and then now what you'll do, lock the blade in with the set screws. They don't need to be very tight, they just need to kind of fill up the space. And looks like we got a little separation here. This is why I do the prototyping. Let's see what's going on with that. Did I not have this closed enough? Looks like we're not closing fully up here. Yep, so that's pushing the 2 halves apart, taking up all the little bit of tolerance we have there. So, set screws. Prototype number 3 may not be the best. What that's going to do is make this harder to deploy and put back together. Let me do a little more grinding, a little more cleanup, see if once this fully meshes, if it still has the same issue. It may, because I simply have to have a little bit of tolerance for these two to mate, but that little bit of tolerance allows the two to separate also before that gets locked in. So it's still splitting this just enough to cause interference and make this tight to close. Still got a little bit of separation here. And I think that's because of the way this is pushing these two apart. Darn, I was hoping this was going to be the one. It just would work. Only require a little bit of finesse to kind of make sure a T-shank was a perfect fit. This is doing its job and holding, so it's more this side that's letting go. So I might have to see what I can do about that. I'm going to over-exert the set screws to see if I can pop that middle, if that's going to take more tension. And it is popping the middle. There may just not be enough thickness here to have these hold together. Good news is once that's in there, and these are tightened down a little bit, it's really well held. Prototype number 3. It's going to definitely need a prototype number 4. It holds very well though. Let's give this a try with some something to cut. So, it does work. It feels really good. You can kind of get your finger gripped over the edge here. Don't know that I'd want to do a whole pipe with this, but definitely give you a nice good metal blade, wood blade, diamond file. So it's worth pursuing this. Just got to kind of tweak out these darn different thicknesses of blades. So I'll live with this for a little while. Play with the design. If you want to check out kind of the behind the scenes, besides this video, I have a thread on multitool.org on the forums there. And it's basically covered everything that I've been doing on the Leatherman Free P4 and everything kind of since, about thumb tabs, the design, background design of this, that for all these different accessories. And so if you want to keep up with this beyond what I post on videos, check it out there. Alright, thanks for watching.